Maya Brooks thought she'd found the perfect match until she arrived at the bistro and overheard him praying for someone else. A white date. Not her. Most women would have walked out, deleted the app, and never looked back. But Maya did something no one expected. She sat down, set a timer for 15 minutes, and gave him one chance to tell the truth. What happened next turned a humiliating moment into a journey neither of them saw coming, a story about whether people can really change when love demands they face who they've been. Before we dive in, do me a favor, drop a comment and tell me what city you're watching from. I love seeing where my viewers are from around the world. The fork scraped against the ceramic plate, a soft sound that echoed in Maya Brooks's chest like a warning bell. She stood just inside the entrance of Harbour Lane Bistro, her purse strap digging into her shoulder, her phone showing 6:57 p.m. She'd been about to text him, running 2 minutes late when she heard it. A man's voice, low, almost a whisper. "Please let my date be white." Maya froze. The host, a young woman with a bright smile, was already walking toward her with 2 menus tucked under her arm. But Maya didn't move. She stood there, her hand still gripping her phone, her eyes scanning the corner booth near the window. There he was, Evan Hale, 30 years old, carpenter, kind smile in his photos, messages that made her laugh over the past 2 weeks, brown hair that curled a little at the ends, flannel shirt rolled to the elbows, hands folded on the table like he was trying to calm himself down, and he just prayed for a white date. Maya's stomach twisted. She wanted to turn around, walk back through the door, delete the app, forget this ever happened. But her feet didn't move. The host reached her. "Hi, are you meeting someone?" Maya swallowed. Her voice came out steady, even though her heart was pounding. "Yeah, corner table." "Oh, perfect. Follow me." Maya's legs carried her forward, 1 step, then another. The bistro wasn't crowded, just a few couples scattered across the room, soft jazz playing in the background, the smell of garlic and rosemary in the air. Evan looked up. His face went pale. Maya reached the table. She didn't sit down. Not yet. "Hi," she said. Evan stood up fast, almost knocking his water glass over. "Maya, hi, wow, you look, I heard you," Maya said. His mouth opened, then closed. His eyes darted to the side, like he was looking for an escape route that didn't exist. "I'm sorry," he said, but it came out like a question. Maya set her purse on the booth and slid into the seat across from him. She didn't take off her jacket. She placed her phone on the table, opened the timer app, and set it for 15 minutes. "You have 15 minutes, she said. "Honesty only." Evan sat down slowly. His hands were shaking. "Maya, No," Maya said. Her voice was calm, but firm. "You don't get to stumble through this. You prayed for a white date. I heard you. So now you're going to tell me exactly what you meant. And if you lie, or if you try to make a joke out of it, I'm leaving." Evan's face flushed red. He looked down at his hands, then back up at her. "I wasn't trying to—" 14 minutes, Maya said, glancing at her phone. He flinched. Then he took a breath. A real one, deep and shaky. "I was nervous," he said. "I've been nervous all day. And He stopped, rubbed his face. "I grew up in a house where everything was about fitting in, about not making waves, about doing things the right way. And the right way, in my family, was white." Maya didn't say anything. She just watched him. "I know that sounds terrible," Evan continued. "I know, but that's what I grew up with. And even though I don't—" He stopped again. His jaw tightened. "Even though I don't believe that, it's still in my head sometimes. And I got scared. Scared that I'd mess up. Scared that I wouldn't know what to say, or that I'd say the wrong thing, or that you'd think I was some ignorant guy who didn't deserve to be here." "So you prayed for a white date," Maya said. Evan closed his eyes. "Yeah, because that would have been easier. Yeah." Maya leaned back in the booth, her arms crossed over her chest. "Do you know how that makes me feel?" Evan opened his eyes. They were wet. "Like I already decided you weren't worth the effort." Maya nodded. "Exactly. I'm sorry," Evan said. "I'm so sorry. That's not—" His voice cracked. "That's not what I think. I swear. I panicked. And I said something awful, and I can't take it back." The timer ticked down. 12 minutes left. Maya studied him. His hands were still shaking. His eyes were red. He wasn't making excuses. He wasn't trying to laugh it off or downplay it. He was just sitting there, letting her see him. "What do you do when your friends cross a line?" Maya asked. Evan blinked. "What?" "When your friends say something racist, or make a joke that isn't funny." "What do you do?" Evan hesitated. Then he said, "I usually just let it go." Maya's stomach dropped. "I know," Evan said quickly. "I know that's not enough, but I grew up thinking that calling people out was rude, that it made things awkward. So I just didn't." "And that's going to change?" Maya asked. "It has to," Evan said, "because if it doesn't, then I'm part of the problem, and I don't want to be." Maya looked at him for a long moment. Then she picked up her phone and paused the timer. "Why did you pause it?" Evan asked. "Because I'm going to the bathroom," Maya said. "And when I come back, you're going to tell me exactly what you're going to do differently, not what you want to do. What you're going to do." She stood up and walked toward the back of the restaurant. Her hands were steady, but her heart was racing. In the bathroom, she gripped the edge of the sink and looked at herself in the mirror. Her dark curls were pinned back. Her lipstick was perfect. Her eyes were tired. "You should leave," she thought. "You should walk out the door and never look back." But something stopped her. Maybe it was the way he'd answered her. No deflection, no jokes, just the truth. Or maybe it was the way he'd looked at her when she sat down, like he knew he'd already lost, but he was going to try anyway. She took a breath. Then another. Then she walked back to the table. Evan was still sitting there. He hadn't touched his water. He was just staring at the timer on her phone. Maya sat down and restarted it. "Talk," she said. Evan nodded. "Okay, so I'm going to start calling people out, even if it's awkward. Especially if it's awkward. Because staying quiet is the same as agreeing." Maya tilted her head. And I'm going to listen more to people who aren't like me, to their experiences, not just to make myself feel better, but because I need to know what I don't know." "And?" Maya asked again. Evan swallowed. "And I'm going to prove it, not with words, with actions, because you don't owe me trust. I have to earn it." Maya's chest tightened. She looked at the timer. 11 minutes left. Then she looked at him. "What if you mess up again?" she asked. "I probably will," Evan said, "but I'll own it, and I'll do better next time." Maya's fingers drummed against the table. She could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on her shoulders. "Leave," part of her said. "Don't give him the chance to hurt you again." But another part of her said something different. People can change, if they're willing to do the work. The timer hit 10 minutes, then 9, then 8. "Okay," Maya said. Evan blinked. "Okay." "You get one more chance," Maya said. "But if you mess up, if you let your friends get away with garbage, or if you say something stupid and don't own it, I'm done. Do you understand?" "Yes," Evan said. His voice was firm. "I understand." Maya picked up her phone and added 15 more minutes to the timer. "Coffee after?" she asked. Evan's eyes widened. "Really? Really?" Maya said. "But I'm watching. Every word, every action, everything." "I know," Evan said. "Thank you." The host walked by and left 2 menus on the table. Maya opened hers, her eyes scanning the appetizers. "What's good here?" she asked. Evan let out a breath that sounded like relief. "The spinach dip. And the wings." "Then let's start there," Maya said. And for the first time since she walked through the door, she almost smiled. The waiter came by a few minutes later. Young guy, maybe 22, with a name tag that said Brandon. "What can I get you folks?" he asked. Evan glanced at Maya. "Spinach dip and wings?" "Sounds good," Maya said. Brandon wrote it down. Then he looked at Maya and grinned. "Your hair looks so professional for school. I bet the kids love it." Maya's hand froze halfway to her water glass. Evan's head snapped up. "Excuse me?" Evan said. Brandon blinked. I just meant, let's avoid remarks about people's hair," Evan said. His voice was calm, but there was steel underneath. "It's not appropriate." Brandon's face went red. "Oh, sorry. I didn't mean—" "I know," Evan said, "but now you know better." Brandon nodded quickly, mumbled something about getting their order in, and hurried away. Maya stared at Evan. He looked at her, his expression uncertain. Was that okay? Maya's throat felt tight. Yeah, that was okay. Evan let out a breath. Good. Because I wasn't sure if I should have said something, or if it would make things worse, or you did the right thing, Maya said. Evan nodded. Then he picked up his water and took a sip. His hands were still shaking a little. The timer ticked down. 4 minutes left. Can I ask you something? Evan said. Go ahead, Maya said. Why did you sit down? Evan asked. After what you heard, you could have just left. Why didn't you? Maya looked at him for a long moment. Then she said, because I wanted to see if you'd own it. Most people don't. They make excuses. They get defensive. They blame everyone but themselves. She paused. You didn't do that. I didn't want to, Evan said, because you deserve better. Maya's chest tightened again. She looked down at her hands, then back up at him. I do. The timer went off. Maya stopped it and set her phone face down on the table. So, she said, tell me about your job. Evan smiled. A real one this time. I'm a carpenter. I have a small wood shop near the marina. I mostly do custom furniture and repairs. Nothing fancy, just solid work. Do you like it? Maya asked. I love it, Evan said. There's something about taking a piece of raw wood and turning it into something useful, something that'll last. He paused. What about you? You teach art, right? Elementary school, Maya said. 3rd grade. It's chaos most of the time, but it's good chaos. Do you like it? Evan asked, echoing her question. Maya smiled. I love it. Kids are honest. They'll tell you if your lesson is boring, or if your outfit is weird, or if they don't understand something. There's no pretending. Sounds like you're good at it, Evan said. I try, Maya said. The food arrived. The spinach dip was warm and creamy, the wings crispy and covered in sauce. They ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes, the tension from earlier slowly fading. Can I ask you another question? Evan said. Maya nodded. What are your non-negotiables? Evan asked. Like, what are the things I absolutely can't mess up on? Maya wiped her hands on a napkin. Honesty, communication, boundaries with your friends, and no photos of me without permission. Got it, Evan said. What else? Respect, Maya said. Not just for me, for everyone. If you see something wrong, you say something, even if it's uncomfortable. I can do that, Evan said. And if you can't, Maya said, then we're done. No second chances. Evan met her eyes. Understood. They finished their meal and Evan paid the check, leaving a fair tip despite Brandon's earlier comment. Then they walked outside into the cool evening air. The bistro was on a quiet street, lined with small shops and cafes. A few people walked by, chatting and laughing. The streetlights glowed warm against the darkening sky. Do you want to walk for a bit? Evan asked. The waterfront's not far. Maya hesitated. Then she nodded. Okay, but just for a little while. They walked side by side, not touching, their footsteps echoing on the pavement. The air smelled like salt and fried food from a nearby vendor. A dog barked in the distance. What made you move here? Evan asked. My aunt, Maya said. She raised me after my mom passed. She lives a few blocks from the school. It just made sense. I'm sorry, Evan said. About your mom? Thanks, Maya said. It was a long time ago, but Aunt Lila's been everything since then. She sounds important, Evan said. She is, Maya said, and she's going to ask me 1,000,000 questions about tonight. Evan smiled. What are you going to tell her? Maya thought about it. Then she said, that you're trying, and that I'm watching. Fair, Evan said. They reached the waterfront promenade, a long stretch of wooden boardwalk that ran along the marina. Boats bobbed gently in the water, their masts clinking in the breeze. A busker played guitar near a bench, his case open for tips. Maya stopped walking and leaned against the railing. The water was dark and calm, reflecting the lights from the boats. This is nice, she said. Yeah, Evan said. He stood beside her, his hands in his pockets. I come here sometimes when I need to think. About what? Maya asked. Everything, Evan said. Work, life, whether I'm doing the right thing. Maya glanced at him. And are you? Evan looked at her. I'm trying. They stood there for a moment, the sound of the guitar drifting over the water. Then Maya pushed off the railing and started walking again. Come on, she said. It's getting late. They walked back toward the bistro, where their cars were parked. When they reached the curb, Evan turned to her. Can I text you tonight? He asked. Just to say I got home safe. Maya studied him. Then she said, Yeah, you can text me. Thank you, Evan said, for giving me a chance. Maya didn't answer. She just unlocked her car and got in. As she drove away, she watched him in the rearview mirror, standing under the streetlight, his hands still in his pockets. And for the first time all night, she let herself hope. Maya unlocked the door to her apartment and stepped inside. The living room was dim, but warm light spilled out from the kitchen. Tasha? Maya called. In here, her roommate answered. Maya dropped her purse on the couch and walked into the kitchen. Tasha Nguyen sat at the small table, a mug of tea in her hands, still wearing her scrubs from the hospital. Her black hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and her eyes were tired but sharp. Tell me everything, Tasha said. Maya sank into the chair, across from her. He prayed for a white date. Tasha's eyes went wide. He what? I heard him, Maya said, right before I got to the table. He was sitting there, and he said, Please let my date be white. And you sat down? Tasha said, her voice rising. I sat down, Maya said. Tasha set her mug on the table with a soft thud. Maya, why? Because I wanted to see what he'd say. Maya said, I gave him 15 minutes, and he told the truth. Tasha leaned back in her chair, her arms crossed. What kind of truth? Maya explained everything. The prayer, the timer, the way Evan had owned it without making excuses, the way he'd handled the waiter's comment about her hair. And you believe him? Tasha asked. I don't know yet, Maya said, but I'm going to find out. Tasha sighed. Just be careful, okay? You don't owe him anything. I know, Maya said, but people can change, if they're willing to do the work. And if he's not? Tasha asked. Then I'm out, Maya said. No second chances. Tasha nodded slowly. Then she reached across the table and squeezed Maya's hand. Okay, I trust you. Just keep me posted. I will, Maya said. Her phone buzzed. She pulled it out and saw a text from Evan. Got home safe. Thanks again for tonight. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm grateful. Below the message was a photo. A scruffy yellow lab lying on a couch, his grey muzzle resting on a pillow. This is Kipper. He's old and lazy, but he's a good listener. Maya felt a smile tug at her lips. She showed the photo to Tasha. Cute dog, Tasha said. Still doesn't mean you should trust him. I know, Maya said, but it's a start. She typed a quick response. Glad you made it home. See you Saturday. Then she set her phone face down on the table and picked up Tasha's tea mug, taking a sip. Saturday? Tasha asked. The school art fair, Maya said. He's going to stop by. Tasha raised an eyebrow. Public place. Smart. That's the plan, Maya said. And if he messes up? Tasha asked. Maya met her friend's eyes. Then I walk away. No looking back. Tasha nodded. Good, because you deserve someone who sees you. Not someone who has to learn how. Maya's throat tightened. I know. They sat in silence for a moment, the only sound the hum of the refrigerator and the distant rumble of a car passing by outside. Then Maya stood up, stretched, and headed toward her room. I'm going to bed, she said. Thanks for waiting up. Any time, Tasha said. That's what roommates are for. Maya paused in the doorway. Tasha? Yeah? Thanks for having my back. Tasha smiled. Always. Maya closed her bedroom door and sat on the edge of her bed. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from Evan. I know actions matter more than words. I'll show you. I promise. Maya stared at the message for a long time. Then she set her phone on the nightstand and lay back against the pillows. She didn't know if this was a mistake, but she was going to find out. Evan sat on his couch, Kipper snoring, softly beside him. His phone lay on the coffee table, screen dark. His hands were still shaking. He couldn't stop replaying the moment Maya walked into the bistro. The way her face had gone blank when she heard what he said, the way she'd stood there, deciding whether to stay or go, and she'd stayed. He didn't deserve it. His phone buzzed. A group text from Gabe Turner, his friend since high school. Yo. How'd the date go? Evan hesitated. Then he typed back, good, really good. A moment later, another message came through. This one had a photo attached. Evan opened it. It was a selfie of Gabe standing outside the bistro window. In the reflection, Evan and Maya were visible at the corner table. The caption read, "He prayed for a white date." Evan's stomach dropped. He stared at the photo. Then he typed back, "Fast. Delete that. Now." Gabe's response came a few seconds later. "Chill. It's just a joke. It's not funny," Evan typed. "Delete it, and don't send it to anyone else." All right. Calm down." Evan waited. A minute passed. Then another. Finally, Gabe sent a screenshot showing the photo being deleted from his phone. "Happy now?" Evan didn't respond. He just set his phone down and rubbed his face. This was exactly what Maya had asked him about, what he did when his friends crossed a line, and he'd handled it, but barely. He grabbed a notebook from the coffee table and wrote a quick note to himself. Talk to Gabe tomorrow. Set real boundaries. No exceptions. Then he turned off the lamp and lay back on the couch, Kipper shifting beside him. He closed his eyes and thought about Maya, the way she'd looked at him across the table, the way she'd given him a chance he didn't deserve. He wasn't going to waste it. Friday morning broke cold and clear. Maya stood at the front of her classroom, arranging paint trays on each table. The smell of tempera paint and old crayons filled the air. Through the tall windows, she could see the playground equipment casting long shadows across the asphalt. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out and saw her aunt's name on the screen. "Hey, Aunt Lila," Maya said, tucking the phone between her shoulder and ear while she set out brushes. "Don't hey me," Aunt Lila said. Her voice was warm but firm. "Tasha texted me last night. Said you went on a date with some white boy who prayed you wouldn't show up." Maya closed her eyes. "That's not exactly." "Then tell me exactly what happened," Aunt Lila said. Maya set down the paint tray and walked to her desk. She sat on the edge and told her aunt everything. The prayer, the timer, the apology, the way Evan had handled the waiter. When she finished, Aunt Lila was quiet for a moment. "You gave him 15 minutes, she finally said. "Yeah," Maya said. "And he used them well?" "He did." Another pause. Then Aunt Lila said, "Baby, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're grown. But I'm going to say this once. Watch his feet, not his mouth." "His feet?" Maya asked. "Where a man's feet go tells you who he really is," Aunt Lila said. "He can say all the pretty words in the world. But if his feet walk away when things get hard, or if they walk toward the wrong people, then you know the truth." Maya's throat tightened. "I know, Auntie. I'm not trying to scare you," Aunt Lila said, her voice softening. "I just don't want you to get hurt. Not again." Maya thought about Marcus, her ex from 2 years ago, the way he'd told her he loved her, then introduced her to his parents as just a friend, the way he'd laughed when his brother made jokes about her hair, the way he'd asked her to tone it down at family gatherings. "This is different," Maya said quietly. "I hope so," Aunt Lila said. "But if it's not, you come straight to me. You hear?" "I hear you," Maya said. "Good. Now go teach those babies something." Maya smiled. "Yes, ma'am." She hung up just as the first bell rang. Within seconds, the hallway exploded with noise, footsteps, laughter, backpacks scraping against lockers. Her students poured through the door. Caden Wilson came in last, his backpack almost as big as he was. He was small for 9 years old, with dark skin and bright eyes that always looked like he was thinking about something important. "Morning, Miss Brooks," Caden said. "Morning, Caden," Maya said. "You ready for the art fair tomorrow?" Caden's face lit up. "I finished my lighthouse last night. My mum helped me glue the last piece. I can't wait to see it," Maya said. The day passed in a blur of lessons and laughter. During lunch, Maya sat in the teacher's lounge and checked her phone. There was a voice memo from Evan. She hesitated, then pressed play. "Hey, Maya. I know you said you wanted to see actions, not words, so I'm keeping this short. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. No expectations, just looking forward to it." His voice was steady, honest. Maya saved the memo and set her phone down. Tasha had sent her a screenshot. It showed a blurry reflection in a restaurant window, 2 people sitting at a table. The caption read, "Is this your date?" Maya's stomach dropped. She zoomed in on the photo. It was definitely her and Evan. The angle was from outside the bistro, looking in through the window. She texted Tasha immediately. "Where did you get this?" Tasha's response came fast. Mutual friends saw it in a group chat. Thought you should know. Maya's jaw tightened. She stood up and walked out of the lounge, her phone pressed to her ear. Evan answered on the second ring. Hey, he said. Everything okay? No, Maya said. Her voice was calm, but there was steel underneath. We need to talk before tomorrow. What happened? Evan asked. She could hear the concern in his voice. Someone took a photo of us last night, Maya said. At the bistro. And it's going around. Evan was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Gabe. Who's Gabe? Maya asked. My friend from high school, Evan said. His voice was tight. He sent me a photo last night. I told him to delete it. I thought he did. Well, he didn't, Maya said. Or he sent it to people first. I'm going to handle this, Evan said. Right now, I promise. How? Maya asked. I'm going to his gym, Evan said. I'm going to tell him to delete it from every device he has. And I'm going to make sure he knows that this isn't okay. Maya leaned against the wall, her eyes closed. If you don't close this loop, we're done. I know, Evan said. I'll text you when it's handled. And Maya, yeah, I'm sorry. This is on me. I should have been clearer with him last night. Just fix it, Maya said. I will, Evan said. Maya hung up and walked back into the lounge. Her hands were shaking. Tasha had sent another message. You okay? Maya typed back. I will be. He's handling it. Good, because if he doesn't, I'm handling him. Maya almost smiled. Then she put her phone away and went back to her classroom. Evan stood outside the gym, his truck parked in the corner of the lot. The building was low and squat, with bright fluorescent lights shining through the windows. He could see people inside, running on treadmills and lifting weights. He took a breath. Then he walked inside. The air smelled like rubber and sweat. Music pounded from overhead speakers. Evan spotted Gabe near the free weights, doing bicep curls in front of a mirror. Gabe, Evan said. Gabe turned, grinning. Yo, didn't know you were coming by tonight. I'm not here to work out, Evan said. His voice was flat. We need to talk. Gabe set down the weights and wiped his hands on a towel. What's up? The photo you took last night, Evan said. It's going around. And it needs to stop. Gabe's grin faded. Dude, I deleted it. Like you asked. After you sent it to people, Evan said. Gabe shrugged. It was just the group chat. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal, Evan said. His jaw tightened. You took a photo of me and Maya without asking. You made a joke about something that hurt her, and now it's out there, and she has to deal with it. Okay, Gabe said, holding up his hands. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was that serious. It is, Evan said. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to delete it from every device you have. You're going to text everyone in that group chat and tell them to delete it. And you're going to send Maya an apology. Gabe frowned. An apology? I don't even know her. Exactly, Evan said. You don't know her. So you don't get to make jokes about her. Gabe stared at him for a moment. Then he pulled out his phone. Fine. I'll handle it. Evan watched as Gabe opened the group chat and typed a message. Yo, delete the photo I sent last night. It wasn't cool. My bad. Then Gabe scrolled through his phone, deleting the photo from his camera roll and his text threads. Happy? Gabe asked. Send the apology to Maya, Evan said. Gabe sighed. What's her number? Evan gave it to him. Gabe typed a quick message and showed Evan the screen. Hey Maya, this is Gabe, Evan's friend. I'm sorry for taking that photo and sending it around. It wasn't cool, and I shouldn't have done it. Won't happen again. Send it, Evan said. Gabe hit send. Then he looked at Evan, his expression somewhere between annoyed and confused. You really like this girl, huh? Yeah, Evan said. I do, and if you or anyone else has a problem with that, I don't need you in my life. Gabe blinked. Whoa. I didn't mean, I know what you meant, Evan said, and I'm telling you now, if you cross this line again, we're done. No more group chats, no more hanging out. Nothing. Gabe's jaw tightened. Then he nodded. All right, I get it. I'll do better. Good, Evan said. He turned and walked out of the gym without another word. Outside, the air was cool and sharp. He got into his truck, pulled out his phone, and took a screenshot of the deletion confirmation from Gabe's group chat. Then he texted Maya. Handled. He deleted it from everything and texted the group chat to do the same. He also sent you an apology. I'm sorry it got this far. I'll keep handling it. He hit send and set his phone on the passenger seat. His hands were shaking again, but this time it felt different. This time it felt like he was doing something right. Saturday morning arrived with pale sunlight and the smell of rain in the air. Maya stood in the school gymnasium, arranging student projects on long tables covered with butcher paper. Caden's cardboard lighthouse sat at the center of one table, painted white and red, with a working battery-powered light at the top. Maya had helped him wire it the day before, and now it glowed softly against the grey morning light filtering through the high windows. Miss Brooks. Caden ran up to her, his mum trailing behind with a camera. Do you think people will like it? I think they're going to love it, Maya said, crouching down to his level. You worked so hard on this, Caden beamed. The doors opened, and parents and students began filtering in. The gym filled with the hum of conversation and the shuffle of footsteps on the polished floor. Maya checked her phone. Evan had texted 10 minutes ago, parking now, bringing water and fruit for the volunteers, checked with the office first. Maya felt something warm settle in her chest. He'd asked permission. He'd thought ahead. She looked up just as Evan walked through the door. He wore jeans and a dark blue Henley, his hair still damp from a shower. In his hands, he carried a cooler and a reusable shopping bag. Maya walked over to meet him. Hey, Evan said. His smile was tentative. Where should I put these? Volunteer table, Maya said, pointing to a corner near the entrance. Thank you for thinking of that. Of course, Evan said. He set the cooler down and started unpacking bottles of water and bags of grapes and apple slices. A few parent volunteers looked over, curious, and Maya introduced him simply as a friend. Evan didn't push for more. He just smiled and offered water to anyone who passed by. Caden ran up, his eyes wide. Miss Brooks, who's that? That's my friend Evan, Maya said. He's a carpenter. Caden's face lit up. Like with wood? Exactly like with wood, Maya said. Can I show him my lighthouse? Caden asked. Maya glanced at Evan. He nodded. Sure, Maya said. Go ahead. Caden grabbed Evan's hand and dragged him over to the table. Evan crouched down beside the lighthouse, studying it carefully. This is incredible, Evan said. How did you get the light to work? Miss Brooks helped me, Caden said proudly. We used a battery and a tiny bulb. And you painted it yourself? Evan asked. Caden nodded. The red was hard. I had to do 3 coats. 3 coats is professional work, Evan said. You know what would make this even better? Caden leaned in. What? If you built a little dock to go with it? Evan said. Just a small platform with a few posts. You could use popsicle sticks. Caden's eyes went wide. That would be so cool. Evan pulled a small notepad from his pocket and sketched a quick design. Caden watched, fascinated, as Evan explained how to glue the sticks together and where to place the posts for balance. Maya watched from a few feet away, her arms crossed over her chest. He was good with kids, patient, encouraging, and he didn't have to be here. After a while, Evan stood up and walked back over to Maya. Caden stayed at the table, showing his lighthouse to a group of parents. He's a great kid, Evan said. He is, Maya said. Thanks for talking to him. Any time, Evan said. They stood there for a moment, the noise of the art fair buzzing around them. Then Maya spotted a table covered in spilled paint. I should, she started. I got it, Evan said. He grabbed a roll of paper towels from the volunteer table and walked over to the mess. He wiped it up quickly, without asking for thanks or drawing attention to himself. Maya felt that warm feeling again. Steady, quiet. Maybe he really was trying. The art fair wrapped up just after noon. Parents trickled out with their kids, carrying projects wrapped in tissue paper. The gym slowly emptied, leaving just a few volunteers and Maya cleaning up. Evan helped fold tables and stack chairs without being asked. When everything was done, Maya walked him out to the parking lot. That was really nice, Maya said. What you did for Caden. He's smart, Evan said, and he's got good instincts for building. He just needs someone to encourage him. Maya smiled. You're good at that. Thanks, Evan said. He hesitated, then added, I was thinking, If you're free later, my Aunt Lila's making lunch. She, wants to meet you. Evan's eyes widened. Really? Really, Maya said. But I should warn you, she's protective, and she's going to ask you hard questions. I'm ready, Evan said. Okay, Maya said. 2:30. I'll text you the address. Evan nodded. Then he got into his truck and drove away. Maya stood in the parking lot for a moment, watching him go. Then she pulled out her phone and called Aunt Lila. Hey, baby, Aunt Lila said. How was the fair? Good, Maya said. And I'm bringing someone to lunch. There was a pause. Then Aunt Lila said, The white boy? His name is Evan, Maya said. Aunt Lila chuckled. All right, bring Evan. But don't expect me to go easy on him. I wouldn't dream of it, Maya said. Aunt Lila's house was a small bungalow with a green front door and flower boxes in the windows. The smell of fried chicken and collard greens drifted out onto the porch. Maya and Evan stood on the doorstep. Evan's hands were in his pockets, his shoulders tense. You okay? Maya asked. Yeah, Evan said. Just nervous. Good, Maya said. You should be. She knocked, and the door swung open immediately. Aunt Lila stood there, wiping her hands on a dish towel. She was 56, with short grey hair and sharp brown eyes that missed nothing. She looked Evan up and down, then stepped aside. Come on in, she said. They followed her inside. The living room was cozy, with mismatched furniture and framed photos covering every surface. The smell of food was even stronger here, warm and inviting. Sit, Aunt Lila said, gesturing to the kitchen table. They sat. Aunt Lila brought over plates of chicken, greens, cornbread, and mac and cheese. She set everything down, then took a seat across from Evan. So, she said. Evan. Yes, ma'am, Evan said. Maya tells me you're a carpenter, Aunt Lila said. Yes, ma'am, Evan said again. I have a small shop near the marina. I do custom furniture mostly. That's honest work, Aunt Lila said. She folded her hands on the table. Now tell me something else. What changed between Thursday night and right now? Evan swallowed. He glanced at Maya, then back at Aunt Lila. I met Maya, he said, and I realized how wrong I was. Not just about what I said, but about how I've been living. I've been letting things slide that I shouldn't. I've been staying quiet when I should speak up, and I don't want to be that person anymore. And what are you doing about it? Aunt Lila asked. I'm calling people out when they cross a line, Evan said, even if it's awkward. I'm learning, I'm reading. I'm listening to people who aren't like me, and I'm proving it with my actions, not just my words. Aunt Lila studied him for a long moment. Then she said, What happens the next time one of your friends makes a joke? I shut it down, Evan said. No exceptions. And if they don't like it? Aunt Lila asked. Then they're not my friends, Evan said. Aunt Lila's expression softened just a little. She picked up her fork and started eating. All right, she said. Let's eat. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. The chicken was crispy and perfectly seasoned. The greens had just the right amount of vinegar. The cornbread melted in Evan's mouth. This is amazing, Evan said. Aunt Lila smiled. My mama's recipe. I'll send it to you if you promise to make it right. I promise, Evan said. After lunch, Aunt Lila walked them to the door. She hugged Maya tight, then turned to Evan. You seem like you're trying, she said. But trying isn't enough. You have to keep trying, every day, even when it's hard. I will, Evan said. Aunt Lila nodded. Then she looked at Maya and whispered, just loud enough for Evan to hear, Keep your eyes open. He's trying, but time will tell. Maya squeezed her aunt's hand. I know. They walked back to the car. Evan was quiet for a moment. Then he said, She's tough. She has to be, Maya said. I get it, Evan said. And I'm glad you have her, Maya smiled. Me too. They drove back toward Evan's apartment. The afternoon sun was warm, and the radio played softly in the background. Can I make you dinner tonight? Evan asked. Nothing fancy, just something simple. Maya thought about it. Then she nodded. Okay, but I'm watching how you cook. Evan laughed. Fair. Evan's apartment was on the second floor of an old building near the marina. The stairs creaked under their feet as they climbed. Maya could hear the distant sound of seagulls and the low hum of boats in the harbor. Evan unlocked the door and stepped aside to let her in first. The apartment was small but clean. Hardwood floors, a worn couch covered with a thick blanket, a bookshelf filled with carpentry manuals and a few novels. The kitchen was tucked into one corner, just enough space for a stove, a sink, and a small wooden table that looked handmade. Kipper, the old yellow lab, lifted his head from the couch and wagged his tail slowly. "That's Kipper," Evan said. "He's friendly. Just really lazy." Maya walked over and scratched behind Kipper's ears. He leaned into her hand and let out a contented sigh. "He likes you," Evan said. "Dogs usually do," Maya said. Evan smiled. "Make yourself comfortable. I'm going to start cooking." Maya sat at the small table while Evan moved around the kitchen. He pulled out chicken breasts, lemons, garlic, carrots, and olive oil. He worked quickly but carefully, his hands steady as he minced the garlic and zested the lemon. "Aunt Leela sent me this recipe," Evan said. "I asked her permission first. Thought it might be a good way to show I'm listening." Maya's chest tightened. "She sent you a recipe?" "Yeah," Evan said. "Last night. She said if I was going to cook for you, I should do it right." Maya pulled out her phone and saw a text from her aunt that she'd missed, gave him my lemon chicken recipe. "Let's see if he follows directions." Maya smiled and set her phone down. "No pressure or anything." Evan laughed. "None at all." He seasoned the chicken with salt, pepper, and garlic, then seared it in a hot pan. The smell filled the small apartment, rich and savory. He roasted the carrots with olive oil and thyme, then made a quick pan sauce with lemon juice and butter. Maya watched him work. He moved with the same care he'd shown at the art fair. Thoughtful, steady, present. "Where'd you learn to cook?" Maya asked. "My mom, mostly," Evan said. "She worked a lot when I was growing up, so I had to figure out how to feed myself. Started with boxed mac and cheese, worked my way up from there." "You're good at it," Maya said. "Thanks," Evan said. He plated the food and brought it to the table. "Let's hope it tastes as good as it smells." They ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes. The chicken was tender and perfectly cooked. The carrots were sweet and caramelized. The lemon sauce tied everything together. "This is really good," Maya said. Evan let out a breath. "Thank God. I was worried I'd mess it up." Maya smiled. "You did fine." After dinner, they washed dishes side by side. Their hands brushed as Maya handed him a plate, and for a moment, neither of them moved. Then Evan dried his hands on a towel and gestured toward the corner of the living room. "Want to see what I'm working on?" he asked. Maya followed him to a small workspace tucked beside the bookshelf. A wooden baby mobile hung from a hook on the wall, partially finished. Tiny animals, a bear, a rabbit, a fox dangled from thin strings, each one carved by hand. "It's for a client," Evan said. "Her baby's due next month." Maya reached out and touched the little bear. It was smooth and delicate, with careful detail in the ears and paws. "You made this?" Maya asked. "Yeah," Evan said. "It takes a while. Each piece has to be balanced just right, or the whole thing spins crooked." Maya looked at him. "You're really talented." Evan's face flushed. "Thanks. It's just, I like making things that last. Things people can pass down." "That's beautiful," Maya said. They stood there for a moment, the mobile turning slowly between them. "Can I ask you something?" Evan said. "Go ahead," Maya said. "Do you think I'm doing enough?" Evan asked. His voice was quiet. "To prove I'm serious?" Maya looked at him for a long moment. Then she said, "I think you're trying. And that matters, but I need to see it keep going. Not just for a few days, for the long run." "I can do that," Evan said. "I hope so," Maya said. Evan walked her to the door a little while later. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the parking lot. "Thank you for dinner," Maya said. "Thank you for coming," Evan said, "and for giving me another chance." Maya hesitated. Then she said, "Tomorrow, Sunday lunch, with your mom." Evan's eyes widened. "Are you sure? I want to see how you are with your family," Maya said. "That's where the real work shows up." Evan nodded. "Okay, I'll text you the details." Maya walked to her car, and as she drove away, she glanced in the rearview mirror. Evan was still standing in the doorway, his hands in his pockets, watching her go. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but she was willing to find out. Sunday morning broke bright and cold. Maya stood in front of her closet, trying to decide what to wear. She didn't want to look like she was trying too hard, but she also didn't want to look careless. Tasha knocked on the doorframe and leaned against it, coffee mug in hand. "You nervous?" Tasha asked. "A little," Maya admitted. "What's the mum like?" Tasha asked. "I don't know yet," Maya said. "But I'm about to find out." She settled on a simple sweater and jeans, pulled her curls back with a headband, and grabbed her keys. "Text me if you need an escape plan," Tasha said. "Will do," Maya said. Carol Hale's house was a small ranch-style home in a quiet neighborhood. The lawn was neatly trimmed, and flowers lined the walkway. A wooden porch swing hung near the front door. Evan was already there, standing beside his truck. He wore khakis and a button-down shirt, and his hair was combed back. "You look nervous," Maya said as she walked up. "I am," Evan admitted. "My mum can be a lot sometimes." "Noted," Maya said. Evan knocked, and the door opened immediately. Carol Hale was a small woman with graying brown hair and kind eyes that looked just like Evan's. She wore an apron over her dress and held a wooden spoon in one hand. "You must be Maya," Carol said, smiling. Come in, lunch is almost ready." They followed her inside. The house smelled like roast beef and baked potatoes. The living room was filled with photos: Evan as a child, Evan in high school, Evan holding a trophy from some long-ago baseball game. "Sit wherever you like," Carol said, gesturing to the dining room table. They sat. Carol brought out plates of roast beef, mashed potatoes, green beans, and fresh rolls. She set everything down with care, then took a seat at the head of the table. "Evan tells me you're a teacher," Carol said. "I am," Maya said. "3rd grade. Art." "That must be wonderful," Carol said. "I always admired teachers. It takes so much patience." "It does," Maya said. "But it's worth it." They ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Carol said, "Evan also tells me you two met online." "We did," Maya said. "And how's that going?" Carol asked. Her tone was light, but Maya could feel the question underneath. "Are you serious about my son?" "It's going well," Maya said carefully. "We're taking things slow." Carol nodded. "That's smart. Rushing never does anyone any good." Evan glanced at Maya, then back at his mom. "Mom, can I ask you something?" "Of course," Carol said. "Have you been reading those articles I sent you?" Evan asked. Carol hesitated. Then she said, "Some of them, they're eye-opening." "Good," Evan said, "because I want to make sure I'm not repeating the same mistakes I grew up with." Carol's face softened. "I know, honey, and I'm proud of you for that." They finished lunch and moved on to dessert apple pie with vanilla ice cream. Carol served generous slices, and they ate slowly, savoring each bite. Then Carol said, almost absently, "Maya, your hair looks so professional for school. I bet the kids love it." Maya's fork froze halfway to her mouth. Evan's head snapped. Mom," Carol blinked. "What?" "We don't make remarks about people's hair," Evan said gently. "Remember?" Carol's face flushed. Oh, I didn't mean—" "I know you didn't mean harm," Maya said, setting down her fork. Her voice was calm but firm. "But comments like that, even when they're meant as compliments, can sting, because they suggest that my hair needs to be professional to be acceptable. Like its natural state isn't good enough." Carol's eyes widened. "I'm so sorry, Maya. I truly didn't mean it that way." "I know," Maya said, "and I appreciate the apology." Carol nodded, her hands twisting in her lap. "I'll do better, I promise." "Thank you," Maya said. The table was quiet for a moment. Then Evan reached over and squeezed his mum's hand. "Thanks for hearing us, Mum," he said. Carol squeezed back. "Of course, honey." After dessert, Evan walked Maya out to the porch. Carol followed, standing in the doorway. "Maya," Carol said, "thank you for being patient with me. I'm learning, and I'm grateful you're helping Evan become a better man." Maya's throat tightened. "Thank you for being willing to learn." Carol smiled. Then she hugged Evan and went back inside. Evan and Maya stood on the porch, the afternoon sun warm on their faces. "That was hard," Evan said. "It was," Maya agreed, "but you handled it well." "So did you," Evan said. They walked to Maya's car, and Evan opened the door for her. "What now?" Evan asked. Maya thought about it. Then she said, "Walk with me." At the waterfront. Evan smiled. I'd like that. The waterfront was quiet in the late afternoon. A few joggers passed by, and a couple sat on a bench eating ice cream. The water was calm, reflecting the orange and pink of the setting sun. Maya and Evan walked side by side, not touching, their footsteps echoing on the wooden planks. Can I ask you something? Maya said. Anything, Evan said. Where did your blind spots come from? Maya asked. You mentioned your family, but I want to understand. Evan was quiet for a moment. Then he said, my family wasn't openly racist, but they were comfortable. They didn't think about people who weren't like them. And when something uncomfortable came up like race or privilege, they'd change the subject or make a joke. And you did the same. Maya said. Yeah, Evan said. I did. Because that's what I was taught, that keeping the peace was more important than telling the truth. He paused. But that's changing. I've been reading, listening to podcasts, following people online who challenge me, and I'm starting to see how much I didn't see before. That's good, Maya said, but it's not just about learning. It's about doing. I know, Evan said. That's why I told Gabe I'd walk away if he crossed the line again. That's why I corrected my mum. And that's why I'm going to keep doing it, even when it's uncomfortable. Maya stopped walking and turned to face him. The sun was setting behind him, casting him in shadow. I need you to understand something, Maya said. I've been hurt before, by someone who said all the right things but never followed through, so I'm not going to settle for promises. I need proof. Every single day. I'll give it to you, Evan said. Every single day. They stood there for a moment, the sound of the water lapping against the dock. Then Evan leaned forward, slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Their lips met, soft and tentative. The kiss was brief, just a few seconds, but it felt like a promise. When they pulled apart, Maya's heart was racing. Okay, she said quietly. Okay? Evan asked. Okay, Maya said. Let's keep going. Evan smiled. A real, genuine smile that reached his eyes. They walked back to the parking lot, hand in hand, the sun setting behind them. Tuesday evening, Maya's apartment was warm and cozy. Tasha had set up a card table in the living room, and a half-finished jigsaw puzzle covered the surface, a landscape of mountains and lakes. There was a knock at the door. That's Evan, Maya said, standing up. Tasha raised an eyebrow. Puzzle night, huh? He asked if he could join. Maya said. I said yes. Well, Tasha said. This should be interesting. Maya opened the door. Evan stood there holding a small wooden box. Hey, he said. I brought something. What is it? Maya asked. Evan opened the box. Inside was a simple wooden picture frame, about 4 by 6 inches. It was smooth and beautifully made, with clean corners and a warm finish. I made this for you, Evan said. For the first photo we earn. Maya's breath caught. She took the frame and turned it over in her hands. It was perfect. Thank you, she said softly. Come on in, Tasha called from the living room. Let's see if you're any good at puzzles. Evan followed Maya inside and sat at the table. Tasha watched him carefully as they worked, her expression neutral. So, Tasha said, Evan, Maya tells me you're a carpenter. I am, Evan said, fitting a piece into place. And you like it? Tasha asked. I love it, Evan said. There's something satisfying about taking raw materials and making something useful, something that lasts. Tasha nodded. What's the hardest thing you've ever built? A dining table for a family of 8, Evan said. It had to be expandable, sturdy enough for kids, and beautiful enough for holidays. Took me 3 months. Did they like it? Tasha asked. They cried when I delivered it, Evan said. That's when I knew I was doing the right work. Tasha's expression softened just a little. She handed him a puzzle piece. Here. This one goes in the corner. They worked in comfortable silence for a while, the puzzle slowly coming together. Maya watched Evan carefully. He listened more than he talked. He asked questions instead of assuming. He laughed at Tasha's jokes and didn't try to impress her. He just was. When the evening wound down, Evan stood up and stretched. I should head out, he said. Early morning, tomorrow. Maya walked him to the door. On the doorstep, Evan turned to her. Thank you for tonight, he said. I know Tasha was testing me. She was, Maya said. And you passed. Evan smiled. Good, because I meant what I said. I'm in this. For real. I know, Maya said. They stood there for a moment, the porch light casting soft shadows. Saturday, Evan said. Lakeside Boardwalk. There's a carnival. Want to go? Yeah, Maya said. I'd like that. Evan leaned in and kissed her gently. Then he walked down the steps and got into his truck. Maya stood on the porch, the wooden frame still in her hands, and watched him drive away. Inside, Tasha was cleaning up the puzzle pieces. He's all right, Tasha said. Maya smiled. Yeah, he is. Saturday arrived bright and warm. The lakeside boardwalk was crowded with families, couples, and kids running between game booths. The smell of fried dough and popcorn filled the air. Oldies music drifted from a speaker near the carousel. Maya and Evan walked hand in hand, stopping at booths to play ring toss and shoot water guns at moving targets. I'm terrible at this, Evan said, missing the target for the third time. Maya laughed. Here. Let me show you. She took the water gun and hit the target dead center. The bell rang, and the attendant handed her a small stuffed bear. Show off, Evan said, grinning. You love it, Maya said. They bought cotton candy and shared it as they walked. The sun was warm on their faces, and for the first time in a long time, Maya felt light, free. They stopped by the water and sat on a bench. A busker played guitar nearby, and couples danced on the grass. This is nice, Maya said. Yeah, Evan said. He squeezed her hand. It really is. They took a selfie by the water, Maya holding the stuffed bear, Evan with cotton candy in his hair. They laughed as they reviewed the photo, and Maya saved it to her phone. That's the one, she said. For the frame. Evan smiled. Perfect. They spent the rest of the afternoon wandering the boardwalk, playing games, and talking about everything and nothing. When the sun started to set, they headed back to Evan's apartment to look through the photos. Evan pulled out his phone and scrolled through the day's pictures. Then his face went pale. An old text thread had popped up at the top of his messages. Maya saw it too. I asked for a white date. I can't handle the rest of it. The message was months old, but it was right there, undeniable. Maya's smile faded. When was that? Evan's hands shook. Before I met you. Months before. Maya set her cotton candy down. Her voice was tight. But you still thought it. I did, Evan said, and I'm not proud of it. Maya stood up. I need time, Maya. No, Maya said. Her voice was firm. I need space to think. She walked to the door, grabbed her purse, and left. The door closed softly behind her. Evan sat on the couch, his phone still in his hands, staring at the message he wished he could erase. Evan sat in the dark for a long time. The apartment was silent except for Kipper's soft snoring and the distant sound of boats creaking in the marina. His phone lay on the coffee table, screen dark. He'd ruined it. Again. No, not again. This was the same wound, the same ugliness he'd carried inside himself for too long. And now Maya had seen it, clear as day. He stood up and walked to his desk, pulled out a notebook and started writing. What I'm going to do. 1. Set boundaries with Gabe, real ones. If he crosses the line again, I'm done. No exceptions. 2. Talk to Mom. Ask her to be a learning partner, not just someone I lecture. 3. Book therapy. 2 sessions minimum, 1 for communication, 1 for bias work. 4. Prove it, not with words, with actions. He took photos of the notes, screenshots of the therapy booking page. Evidence, not to manipulate, just to show he was serious. Then he picked up the empty picture frame from the table and set it in the center. A reminder, a goal. He'd earn that photo back, or he'd accept that he'd lost it forever. Either way, he was going to change. Sunday morning felt heavy. Maya sat in Aunt Leela's living room, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea. She'd barely slept. The image of that text kept playing in her mind. I can't handle the rest of it. The rest of it, meaning her. Meaning everything she was. Tell me what happened, Aunt Lila said, sitting across from her. Maya told her everything. The perfect day at the boardwalk, the laughter, the cotton candy, the selfie, and then the text. Aunt Lila was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, People can be new if they act new. What do his feet do? Maya looked up. What? His feet, Aunt Lila said. Where do they go? When things get hard, does he run or does he stay and do the work? Maya thought about it. He stayed. At the bistro, at your house, with his mum, with Gabe. And when he messes up, Aunt Lila asked. He owns it, Maya said quietly. He doesn't make excuses. Aunt Lila nodded. Then the question isn't whether he had ugly thoughts months ago. The question is whether he's different now. But what if he's not? Maya asked. What if he's just good at saying what I want to hear? That's why you watch his feet, Aunt Lila said. Not his mouth, his feet. Where does he go when no one's watching? What does he do when it's easier to walk away? Maya's phone buzzed. She looked down and saw Tasha's name on the screen. Video call? Maya answered. Tasha's face appeared, her expression serious. I heard what happened, Tasha said. You okay? I don't know, Maya said. Do you think he meant it? Tasha asked. The text? He did, Maya said. Months ago. But I think he's changed since then. Then you have to decide, Tasha said. Can you live with who he was, or do you need him to have always been who he is now? Maya closed her eyes. I don't know. Take your time, Tasha said. But don't punish him for being honest. If he's really changing, that matters. They talked for a few more minutes, then hung up. Aunt Lila stood and walked to the window. The morning light made her look older, softer. You know what I think? Aunt Lila said. What? Maya asked. I think you're scared, Aunt Lila said. Not of him, of hoping. Because hope is dangerous when you've been hurt before. Maya's throat tightened. Yeah. Aunt Lila turned and looked at her. But you can't live without it, baby. Hope is what makes us human. Maya wiped her eyes. What if I'm wrong? Then you'll survive, Aunt Lila said, just like you always do. Maya left her aunt's house just after noon. On her doorstep, she found a small paper bag with her name on it. Inside was her scarf, the one she'd left at Evans during puzzle night. There was a note underneath. No pressure, just wanted to return this. That was all. No grand speech, no begging, just a simple gesture. Maya picked up the scarf and held it to her chest. Then she went inside and sat at her kitchen table. A few minutes later, there was a knock at the door. She opened it and found Tasha standing there with takeout bags. Thought you could use some company, Tasha said. Thanks, Maya said. They sat at the table and ate Thai food straight from the containers. Tasha didn't push. She just sat there, present and steady. After a while, Maya said, There's another note. From Evan? Tasha asked. Maya nodded. She pulled an envelope from her purse and opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter, 2 pages, front and back. She read it out loud. Maya, I'm not going to make excuses. That text was ugly. It was wrong. And it came from a place inside me that I'm working every day to uproot. I can't change who I was, but I can show you who I'm becoming. Since Thursday, I've done the following. Confronted Gabe and set real boundaries. If he crosses the line again, I'm done. Deleted old group chats and conversations that don't reflect who I want to be. Booked 2 therapy sessions, 1 for communication, 1 for bias work. Talked to my mum about being a learning partner. I'm not sharing this to earn points. I'm sharing it because you deserve to know what I'm doing, not what I'm saying I'll do. What I'm actually doing. If you're open to it, I'll be at Harbour Lane Bistro on Friday at 7 p.m. Same table where this started. If you're not, I'll accept it. And I'll keep doing the work anyway. Because this isn't just about us. It's about being a better person. For myself, for the people around me, for the world I want to help build. Thank you for seeing me. Even the ugly parts. Evan. Maya folded the letter carefully and placed it inside the wooden frame. Tasha watched her. What are you going to do? Maya stared at the frame for a long moment. Then she said, I'm going to wait and watch and see where his feet go. Monday through Thursday passed slowly. Maya kept herself busy. She helped Caden adjust his lighthouse during recess. She graded art projects late into the evening. She avoided looking at her phone. But the letter stayed in the frame on her kitchen table. A reminder, a question. On Monday afternoon, she got a text from Carol. Hi, Maya. I've been reading the articles Evan sent. I'm learning. Thank you for your patience with me. Maya stared at the message for a long time. Then she set her phone down without responding. Not because she was angry, but because she needed to see if Carol's actions would match her words. On Tuesday evening, Evan finished the baby mobile and delivered it to his client's house. He didn't text Maya about it. He just did it quietly, without needing applause. On Wednesday, Maya reread the letter. She traced her fingers over the words. "I'll be at Harbour Lane Bistro on Friday at 7 p.m. On Thursday night, she set an alarm on her phone for Friday evening. Then she laid out a simple blue dress on her chair and turned off the lamp. Friday evening arrived cold and clear. Maya stood in front of her mirror, adjusting the dress. Her hands were shaking. Tasha knocked on the doorframe. "You ready?" "I don't know," Maya said. "You don't have to go," Tasha said. "You can text him right now and tell him you're done. And I'll support you either way." Maya looked at herself in the mirror. Then she said, "I need to see this through." "Okay," Tasha said. "Then go. And trust yourself." Maya grabbed her purse and walked out the door. Harbour Lane Bistro looked exactly the same as it had 3 weeks ago. Soft jazz playing, the smell of garlic and rosemary. Couples scattered across the room, and there, at the corner table, was Evan. He wore a simple button-down shirt and jeans. His hair was neatly combed. There was a glass of water in front of him. No phone, no menu, just him, waiting. Maya walked over and sat down. Evan looked up, and his eyes were red. "Hi," he said quietly. "Hi," Maya said. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Maya said, "I read your letter." "Okay," Evan said. "And I need you to understand something," Maya said. Her voice was steady, but there was weight behind it. "That text hurt, not just because of what it said, but because it showed me who you were, and I need to know if that person is really gone. I can't prove he's gone with words," Evan said. "Only with time, with actions, with showing up, even when it's hard." Maya leaned back in her chair. "Show me the receipts." Evan pulled out his phone. He showed her the therapy confirmations, the message to Gabe setting clear boundaries, a photo of a note on his fridge. "Speak up, even when it's uncomfortable." Maya studied each one carefully. Then she set his phone down. "These are good," she said, "but they're just the start." "I know," Evan said, "and I'm ready to keep going." The server approached, a different one this time, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes. "What can I get you folks?" she asked. Evan glanced at Maya. She nodded. "2 waters," Evan said. "And can we see the menu?" The server smiled and walked away. Maya looked at Evan. "I'm not giving you another chance because I think you're perfect. I'm giving you another chance because I think you're willing to do the work." "I am," Evan said. "I promise. And here's how it's going to work," Maya said. "We take this slow, 1 date at a time, no photos without permission, no bringing me around your friend group for a while, and we check in once a month. Honest check-ins, about what's working and what's not." "I can do that," Evan said. "And if you mess up, if you let something slide, or if you say something stupid and don't own it, I'm done," Maya said. "No, 3rd chances." "Understood," Evan said. The server returned with menus. They ordered food, spinach dip and wings, just like the first night. As they waited, Evan folded his hands on the table. "Can I say something?" he asked. "Go ahead," Maya said. Evan took a breath. Then he said, quietly, "Thank you, for the woman in front of me. And for the chance to do better." Maya's chest tightened. It wasn't a request. It wasn't a demand. It was just gratitude. Simple, honest, real. "You're welcome," Maya said softly. They ate slowly, talking about small things. Work, Caden's lighthouse, the baby mobile, Aunt Leela's greens. The conversation flowed easily, without pressure or performance, and for the first time since Saturday, Maya felt the knot in her chest start to loosen. The weekend passed quietly. On Saturday morning, Evan got a group text from Gabe. It was an invitation to a lake trip with some of the guys. At the bottom of the message was a joke, a cheap one, the kind Evan would have ignored before. He typed back immediately, "Not interested," and changed the joke, or "I'm out of this chat." Gabe didn't respond. But 20 minutes later, he sent a new message. "My bad," joke deleted. Evan screenshot the exchange and saved it, not to send to Maya, just to remind himself. That afternoon, Maya sat in her living room grading projects. Her phone buzzed. It was a photo from Evan, the baby mobile, installed in a nursery, glowing softly in the afternoon light. No caption. No request for praise. Just the photo. Maya smiled and saved it. That evening, Evan showed up on her porch with 2 cups of tea. "Thought you might want some company," he said. "I do," Maya said. They sat on the porch steps, sipping tea and watching the sun set. They didn't talk much. They just existed together, comfortable and quiet. After a while, Maya pulled out her phone and opened the photo from the boardwalk, the one with the stuffed bear and the cotton candy. She looked at Evan. "I think I'm ready." "For what?" Evan asked. Maya stood up and went inside. She came back with the wooden frame. She printed the photo at her desk, trimmed it carefully, and slid it into the frame. Then she handed it to Evan. "There," she said. "We earned it." Evan's eyes filled with tears. He looked at the photo, then at Maya. "Thank you," he said, his voice breaking. "Thank you for doing the work," Maya said. They sat there for a while, longer, the frame resting on Evan's lap, the photo catching the last light of the day. Sunday lunch at Aunt Lila's was different this time. Evan arrived with flowers, simple daisies, nothing fancy. Aunt Lila took them with a small smile. "You're learning," she said. They ate chicken and greens and cornbread. The conversation was easy. Aunt Lila asked Evan about his work, and he asked her about her garden. After lunch, Aunt Lila pulled Maya aside in the kitchen. "He's doing better," she said. "He is," Maya agreed. "And you?" Aunt Lila asked. "Are you okay?" Maya thought about it. Then she said, "I'm getting there." Aunt Lila squeezed her hand. "Good, because I can bless steady. And that boy is steady." Later that afternoon, Maya and Evan drove back to Harbour Lane Bistro. They sat at the same corner table. The same server brought them water and menus. "Why are we here?" Maya asked. "Because this is where it started," Evan said, "and I wanted to make it right." He reached across the table and took her hand. "I was wrong," he said. His voice was clear and firm. "I prayed for something I didn't need, because what I needed was sitting right in front of me, and I'm grateful you stayed." Maya's throat tightened. "So am I," they asked the server to take their photo. She did, smiling as she handed the phone back. The photo showed them at the table, hands clasped, smiling. Real, earned. Maya saved it immediately. "That one's for us," she said. "Yeah," Evan said. "It is." That evening, Maya and Evan sat on her porch. 2 coffee mugs rested on the railing, steam curling into the cool night air. They didn't say much. They just sat together, shoulders touching, watching the stars come out. "Next week," Maya said, "let's go to the art museum." "I'd like that," Evan said. "And the week after, you're coming to Caden's school presentation," Maya said. "He's showing his lighthouse to the whole class." "I wouldn't miss it," Evan said. They sat in comfortable silence for a while longer. Then Evan said, "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up on yourself," Maya said. Evan kissed her forehead softly. Then he stood and walked down the steps toward his truck. Maya watched him go, the porch light casting long shadows across the yard. Inside, Tasha was cleaning up the kitchen. She looked up when Maya came in. "You good?" Tasha asked. "Yeah," Maya said. "I'm good." She walked to her room and set the framed photo on her nightstand. The boardwalk, the bear, the cotton candy, the smiles, proof that people could change, proof that love could grow in the ordinary work of showing up, proof that sometimes the hardest beginnings led to the most beautiful stories. Maya turned off the light and climbed into bed, and for the first time in weeks, she slept deeply. Because she'd made a choice, not to ignore the hurt, but to believe in the work, one quiet day at a time. The end.